Hello and welcome to episode 15 of our Delta Green game, Operation Bonebox. We're Wilderspace Gaming and I am the handler. I'm Andy. I shall start to introduce you to my players. Let's start with Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm playing Agent Khar, who is a CIA deep cover agent.
Nick.
Hi, I'm Nick. I play Agent Pink, a U.S. Air Force pararescue jumper.
Marc.
Hi, I'm Marc. I'm playing Agent Sandman, who's a Green Beret.
Thanks. B.
Hi, I'm B. I play Agent Hawk, an ICE Federal agent.
Okay, and then Bruce.
Hi, I'm Bruce. I play Agent Jones, our combat archaeologist.
And lastly, Tom.
Hi, I'm Tom. I play Agent Farmer, an O&I officer.
Okay, I've just noticed B's camera has got a bit offset, so I'm just correcting that so that we can see your face, B.
I
won't
really
move.
want to do that.
Wow,
I
so
know.
rude.
There's going to be violence in
See,
that
I can
house,
get
I
away
think.
with it.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Okay.
No, I
Maybe a little bit more. Right. Okay. So, you were at the ruins of Nineveh. You had done various bits of scouting around the south, the west, and were now starting to progress up to the north. What do you wish to do? And I believe Agent Jones is about to relay something he's noticed about a gate.
Mhm.
Yeah, something that Agent Jones probably would have twigged fairly early on, but I certainly hadn't twigged until I looked at the map. So, in that top sort of left part of the compound, there's a gate, the Adad Gate, and obviously we know that there is a ritual in play at the moment. The winds, no, not ritual. The tablets are
The
winds
tablets
of
are
Adad.
called the Winds of Adad.
Yeah.
No, the winds are.
Okay.
The winds
Unknown
according.
Adad.
Sorry, what was
Yeah.
it? Is it the winds according to Adad? Is it?
Was that the Winds of Unknown Adad?
Oh, hang on a sec.
In either case, Adad is
Winds
Uh,
unknown.
Anyway.
Winds unknown to Adad. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Bruce, where is it? Is it about there?
no.
No, it's right
There.
That one.
That's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so it's
Modern
just ahead
day
of us.
destroyed.
So you have literally,
Yeah.
you guys are parked up in your two vehicles about here. Okay.
Yeah.
oh,
just-
so we're outside it.
You're literally
Pretty
within,
much.
you can see it. And also, just as a quick reminder, Agent Hawk is disguised as male. Just because I forgot it last time until we started playing. Just as a reminder.
She's got
Okay.
a big beard, right?
Say again?
I've
She's
got
got,
fabulous
Fake
beard.
beard.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's the best beard.
I remember the Monty Python conversation from last time.
Right. Okay. So the other thing that the other thing that you were there was some discussion. So up here, I think it's literally here, is the University of Mosul, and there were conversations about potential leads with Agent Khar in the last session had picked up stories about, and I think he actually had some information on this from the CIA in advance of coming on
did,
this
yeah.
recon, that the Mosul battalions, as they're called, which is a collective name for groups of anti-Daesh fighters living in Mosul, residents of Mosul, that there's a number of students involved in that. The university is fairly heavily restricted. I mean, all women have been banned, I think, and the courses are very, very restricted now. But there are still students there. It's about a third of the number of students it had before, is the CIA's estimation. And there are stories about active Mosul battalions there. Okay, that was the other thing that was being discussed last time. Okay, what do you wish to do?
I had a query I mentioned just earlier, actually. We know that this missing colonel is, well, we suspect he's in a house down here somewhere, as his phone's been bouncing off towers in the area, but he hasn't made any calls in a long time. We can see his call information. Would it be possible to get data information as well? See if he's using other applications to communicate.
That would be a computer science check. So is that
This
something
would be
Agent Farmer's going to look at?
myself.
It's fun.
Second, Tom?
Yeah, I was saying that would be myself. However, last point, yeah, I'll just actually duck down in the car, as it were, make sure that, again, you have the laptop slightly hidden away. I'd have to get into the actual cab instead of just sitting in the truck bed for that one.
Yep, certainly. Right.
Would be unusual to see a 2-vehicle convoy with just some guy in the back doing IT work.
Exactly.
I mean, don't forget there are. I mean, there are. Daesh makes quite active use of computers because there's a lot of online propaganda. If you remember the found video, several members of that found video, several members of Daesh on that video were members of a Daesh propaganda team, and they were very active computer users.
Allow me to
actually, to be fair,
swallow
maybe more
my-
smartphones because they were on. What was it? I've forgotten the name. I think is it Instagram or it's some other. It's some social media things they were on. I can't remember which one it was.
I believe they were actually on WhatsApp. They prefer not to mess with the really big social media networks most of the time, except for disinformation campaigns, if I recall.
Okay, right. So, your computer science Agent Farmer is 62. So
Yes.
that doesn't require a dice roll.
Okay.
So you spend a little time while you're parked up here doing this. While this is going on, what are the rest of you doing? You have a little bit of time while Agent Farmer is sort of hunkered down on a laptop.
We've already done our recce, haven't we? The house which we thought was over here, didn't we?
Sorry, what? Yeah, you've done all that, but you're currently you're currently up here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we relocated, didn't we? Yeah.
Well, I think we need to start formulating a plan. What exactly is our objective here? Are we going to try and recon this site? I'm going to click in the middle of it. Or do you want to get more information? How are we going to get more information? I'm currently losing sight of what we're trying to achieve with this on the streets expedition. I mean, I've found out what I can from local contacts, but everything's changed here so much. A lot of my contacts, obviously, as you're well aware, have dried up. We've tried to get together. We've found where this missing colonel is. Perhaps we want to go and have a word with him.
The colonel was
two different ways.
So
we think he might be there.
We're thinking the colonel is secondary to the father of war.
Well,
we are not here as military. We are here as Delta Green. We can pass on the information about Jabiri to other people to deal with. And
well,
we can
the thing is, in my mind at least. Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to state really quick that my previous statement was false. Twitter is actually the most commonly used during this time period.
I thought so. Yeah.
Platform.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, Chris, what you were saying?
Well, if we think that Al-Jabiri's disappearance and strange behaviour has anything to do with the Lord of War, then he might be a more easy to question person than the Lord of War himself. Additionally, there's a possibility, given that he's quite senior, that he might actually have a fairly high role within any proto organisation that's currently being run up by the Lord of War, Father of War, sorry, whatever it is, Father of War. So that could be an angle. Would be to conduct a raid there.
Yes, snag him up as an intel resource wouldn't be a bad idea.
Another possibility, of course, is that we could recon the site directly and see if we can't find out any traces of what we're looking for in the Naval itself. Are we ready for those things, and are we happy with how prepared we are?
So I think from a ritual point of view, and kind of, I was looking through my notes,
I hope it's on the ritual point of view.
there was this sort of open question about whether we needed to cast the Elder Sign on the urn or not before we actually started to do anything. It was there before, and that was obviously how they sort of contained him. And we've established that the urn was not at least as far as I can remember, not a vessel as such, like a prison. Or if it is a prison, we need to. I think we need to establish whether we're trying to summon the spirit to the urn and then somehow containing it in the urn, or somehow I think it was a ritual to banish spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I was still a little hazy over whether the urn was like a prison, a containment, a gateway, and we need
It's containment. I'm sure of it.
Sorry,
I'm sure it's containment.
Just remember, something else stuck an arm out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also the problem is if it was containment, then all we would need to do is, or not all we would need to do, but it would be a much simpler. We wouldn't need to cast the banishment spell, because the banishment spell wouldn't take it. The banishment ritual puts it back to its plane of existence or creation. So we need, at the moment, we don't even have a ritual that would kind of suck it back into the urn, if you like. So to me, it's pointing, from a meta game point of view, it's pointing to something else. Plus, I think just the practical feasibility of trying to take something as large and unwieldy as the urn to the point where we are in a potentially mobile firefight with a supernatural entity doesn't fill me with great confidence for a success.
Could you just pop inside this little end bit here? That'll be great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Way to
If you
hop in
don't
there and be fun.
There's a nice comfy chair inside.
I'll try something taped to my back and dive
just-
in, but
Just to remind you one other thing at the urn, you dropped something. I think it was Agent Farmer dropped a like a glow stick or something like that inside, and something with some weight certainly, and you never heard it hit anything.
Yes.
And the light that it was generating got consumed before too.
But none of you has ever looked in it.
No, because we ain't stupid.
there's a little bit of an open
It's
question
scary.
about that. But then the only other point is we've got to confront this guy somewhere, and we've still got to find him. So this recce, my understanding was to locate to locate where he was, suss out what sort of defenses that this critter had in place, and then formulate a plan to go in and sort of.
Let me give you some other bits of info then. So just to go through the gut. So just to clarify, there's no bridge here, which I said last session because we've discovered that road is fictitious. There's a couple of guards on a ford here. Yep.
Yeah.
Then there's a vehicle with a couple of guards parked on this track here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a couple of machine gun posts, one here, and then there's a couple of other men here, roughly.
The second machine gun post?
The other machine gun post is here. That was the first one. That was and then there's a couple of our men here. Okay.
And there's
actually on the ruins edge. Is that because it's a good field of fire, or they just happen to be positioned there?
They just improvise some very quick symbols there. So the dots are men, the cross shapes are machine guns, and that's supposed to be a box with wheels, which is obviously a vehicle.
Yeah. Okay.
This is quite difficult to draw.
Apologies. I haven't had a chance to between sessions. I will.
That's a vehicle. It now looks like nothing.
That looks like a vehicle. I can see the wheels from here.
Yes, they appear to have fallen off though. Just to say, when you've gone up here and then round on this road here, you have observed no other positions.
Okay, so roughly speaking, then it looks like the we're encircling this area here then with guards, aren't we?
You've not been around the eastern side yet at all, though, just to be clear.
Right, let's do that then. That's the next thing to do then.
Agent Farmer, you finish your computer check, your computer searching of anything, any form of data communicated to that phone, and the data usage is extremely low. Basically, nothing. Would you be able to tell uploading and downloading?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
I'm sure you can.
uh,
You're getting this information from the data provider, so
Yeah.
they know what this.
I would say almost nothing uploaded. Yeah.
Okay.
And anything downloaded is probably it's such a low data volume. It's probably consistent with automatic updates and things like that, and weather apps update,
Mm.
giving updates and stuff like that. It's probably
Yeah.
it's stuff like that. So the phone usage is phenomenally low, and
Yeah.
as you have observed previously, but the phone has been on for long enough that it's had to have been charged.
Yeah.
Though the
Yeah.
battery usage, to be fair, would be quite low because it's on, it's pinging off,
Yep.
Masts.
but it's doing absolutely nothing. No calls, and no. If it was on Twitter or WhatsApp or anything, any sort of other form of electronic communications, there would be more data usage than there is.
It was like his mind's been compromised to me. Not like somebody who's the head of a intelligence service would not be using that, and not using basic security protocols as well.
Hold on a second. So I'm having a thought, but I don't like it.
He's behind on his updates.
Something
Of
else
course, it's
that
happening to me.
we can consider, of course, is there are a number of soldiers and people wandering around guarding here. We could ask them.
Yeah, could do. We have got how about IDs?
Yeah. Now the thing is, I was just thinking, is we have got religious. Is it religious police IDs? Is it feasible? I've heard a rumor that someone here is not following the proper precepts of Islam, i.e., summoning an ancient elder god.
That's up to you. You could certainly attempt that if you wish.
What do you guys think? Do you think that's an angle?
It's certainly
Yeah.
a dangerous one, but yes, it is an
Yes, it
angle.
is a dangerous one.
Would our positions with our fake IDs, our fake aliases, would that give us a position to? Would it give us a sense of authority that we think we could question what Jabiri's up to, like in his position?
Well, Jabiri, just let's put his thing back up. Oh, I've got no notes on there. That's very unhelpful of me. So Jabiri is, let me find his notes. He is the Mosul head of.
Give me a second, I have to step away for a moment.
I forgot what he's the Mosul head of. Hang on a sec.
No worries.
I thought it was in
I think it's the counterintelligence, isn't it?
counterintelligence section,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
counterintelligence.
Yeah.
Aman al-Dawala, which is counterintelligence. Yeah, he is the head of that. So that's really quite a senior. I mean, that doesn't mean all the people here are. In fact, you're pretty certain a lot of them are not.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
he had, and you're then into what is the almost not status, is that the right word? The pecking order between counterintelligence and
yeah.
what you're
The
talking
other
about being
organisations.
posing is where have they gone? The religious police is Al Hisbah.
Yeah.
So
Are we all?
Who's got the biggest balls in the room, basically?
Yeah. I don't know whether our approach can be from a more mundane sort of thing of, hey, we've been told to check out why Jabiri's not answering his phone, or we go in and go with what Khar says, which is go for. We've heard some rumblings that there's been some.
It just occurs to me that, given what we suspect, I
Yeah.
also suspect that the actual authorities in the cities are not going to be exactly happy about what's going on here either.
I think they're
I
blaming.
mean,
Yeah,
CIA,
I mean, we could all.
wasn't it?
Remember, what does everybody in this scenario want? We want an Islamic Caliphate. Having the Lord of War sitting in the middle of it, directing a small army army that's serving him is not exactly. That's the thought I'm having. Like I said, I don't like the thought at all, but
It's whether or not any of the other mundane people have noticed anything particularly
that's why
religious about it.
maybe a little snatch operation to grab one of these guards and find out if they
That makes
suspect
more sense. Yeah.
if they suspect that they are involved. Yeah, we grab them. We say that
Yeah.
we're from which one? Where's one Andy just named? Sorry, I've got a handout. I'll look it up. We say we're from there, and we say, is there anything we should be concerned about? And then lean on him from his background to see if there is. You know.
I'm pinging in the bottom left the various organisations.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
are we all from the same thing, as it were? Is all of our IDs preset to a certain thing, or
No, we
can
were a
we just
mixed
say
group.
we are? Yeah, because
Yeah.
obviously, as female
No.
persona, I'm Alcanza, obviously, which I can't be in male persona.
Well, I think I've got a full suite of IDs.
Yeah,
around
you
the
probably
place,
got everything. You got to catch them all. They're like Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I think that's actually a not bad idea. Sort of snatching one of the perhaps somebody that looks like they're in charge of the guards, sort of like a little bit more senior of the guards, if we can, to someone that's going to know something rather than just a grunt. That would be Hawk's suggestion anyway.
Yeah.
But she actually has no knowledge of military stuff, so she's also
yeah.
like, "Hey, it's a fresh pair of eyes."
It depends on.
I've just
what
realised that you guys thought I was
information-
suggesting that we walk up in broad daylight and start talking to them. No, that wasn't my idea.
No,
I thought you were
was
talking about grabbing the main guy, like going into the house and grabbing him, and I was like, "Oh,
No,
I am.
was
That's
my
a bit
plan.
down the line. That's down the line.
okay."
I think we should do that.
I did think you were talking about going up and
Yes.
sort of in the middle of the day going, "Why are you here?
buddy."
What are you
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
here?"
What is
No,
this?
no.
Yeah, I know. I thought you were literally talking. Yeah, just like we'll just wait until a guard along his patrol route gets to the right spot, and then just
that's
yank into an alleyway, question really quick, perhaps knock out and replace if necessary.
Good idea.
Just put a hat on, blend right in.
So,
Yeah. If Hitman games have taught me
guards are at
anything,
each
all I
thing?
have to do, all guards are exactly the same size as me.
Yes, and they're all 3 days away from retirement.
Right.
Is there how many guards are at each post?
There were 2 or 3 at each of them. There were 3 at the
Could probably
car,
take 3.
3 at each machine gun, 2 at each of the sort of 2-foot groups you saw.
So the force strength is about 25. Is that right?
But there's potential that they're two different groups because some of them were Chechens and some of them weren't.
Yeah.
And we don't want to mess with the Chechens because they're the ones that have got the reputation for being double-hard bastards.
One of the machine guns.
Yeah, I'd prefer to not get a
one of the machine guns, the eastern side one, and the vehicle were Chechens. For the other 3 groups were all not Chechens.
Well, here's a further suggestion of something we could do. Being even more discreet to start with is how about we set up an observation and watch the behaviour patterns of the guards. When they go off rota, do they go into a building on site or do they go elsewhere? If they go elsewhere, that gives us a good window of opportunity to have a word with
Get them while they're at home.
If they go on site, then we've got an interesting situation there because I think that'd be quite unusual.
Agent Jones, is there with the ruins which are in the western corner? Is there a lot of underground catacombs and everything else there?
Andy,
I do not.
Why don't you know, Bruce?
Bit harsh.
I mean, Bruce, you've had plenty of time to research it.
I mean, Why
Just
are you
like
not an
you've had plenty of
archaeologist?
Yeah.
It's just like
How
the
do you not
GMs
have
had
your
plenty of time
combat
to mark the map.
archaeology?
This is what we have a handy handler for.
Exactly.
A handy
Had-
Who
handler.
just goes,
A handy
make a
handler.
roll. Oh, it's okay. You don't have to because you're
Right.
omnipotent.
There are not known to be any underground caves here. There are 3 principal ruins. There's a ruins of a palace here, ruins of a temple, probably where that machine gun position is, and ruins of another temple here. Those are the main 3 sites.
But are there any underground rooms in the temples or the ruins that have been excavated?
Quite possibly. Yes, I would say yes. More so in the palace. Okay.
Because if you are going to, I don't know, where would a multi-sharded god of war hold up?
Well, somewhere dark.
Somewhere dark, and certainly in the daylight hours doesn't do it any good.
Just can I just check on something? You've been sat here for probably about half an hour now. Are you still just sat sort of probably crowded around one vehicle where
We could probably go on the move. We can have all this conversation on the move.
Okay.
And
Where do you want to go on the move?
We need to recon the eastern half. It sounds like we haven't driven down that road to the east of the
Right.
east of the Nineveh compound yet. So I suggest the first thing we do there is jump in the cars, which I think are here, if I remember correctly, or possibly here. I can't remember.
Here. And you want to just
We then drive up to this roundabout here, and then just head down this side. Out of slow. Take one of the cars so it doesn't look like suspicious, like this convoy of 2 cars driving around all the time, looking at them. Take one of the cars, drive casual, and one person who's sitting in the car gets a good gander at it.
Right.
While,
okay, and then down to this roundabout. Sorry, not they don't round.
Interchanges, isn't it?
Interchanges, yeah.
Interchange, yeah, sorry,
And
interchange.
then-
I see it.
And then down on this. Are you coming down this road past where you?
Yeah, I think it's scope it again, couldn't you?
Okay, so
we've driven down that road a couple of times already today, especially in convoy. I'd suggest maybe.
no, you never drove. You never drove past the base.
That's all walking, isn't it?
Okay, right, yeah, let's do it then. That's fine. Sorry, I thought we had done.
No, you walked. Right. Okay. So, with the there's something else that's occurred to me that those with military knowledge, actually no, Farmer definitely, but I think also Pink and Sandman.
Yes.
Is someone not in Roll20?
Oh yeah, somebody left.
Oh,
Oh, he's back.
Right.
hey.
Yeah. Okay. Right. One thing you would notice. Oh, sorry, not. Yeah, notice. I suppose the right way. There's been no effort really to conceal these machine gun positions, and that's poor military tactics.
Or is it a cunning bluff?
It's poor military tactics and also extremely dangerous against an adversary like the United States of America that likes attacking its targets from above.
Okay, I just thought.
I mean, if,
But they probably know that. They probably know the
No.
Americans.
That sorry, I was agreeing with you. Just maybe perhaps expounding upon that agreement. It is weird that they aren't
Possibly
camouflaged.
know, however, just to say, the Americans may not be comfortable with dropping their heavy ordnance on Nineveh for precisely the same reason everyone was shocked when they took that gate down. Just a thought, but I suspect it could be bad military tactics, or it could be. I mean, these Tetans are smart, their leaders are smart, they're experienced. Is it possible this is just a bit that we can see? That's what I would be worried about.
Right.
Yeah, an
Okay.
overt show of force.
So making a way along the road here, then taking the interchange onto this here, I have no idea whether you're driving on the correct side of the road or not, but hey,
Go with the flow.
Yeah.
no, but also there very much is it's a chaotic city. People are driving on the wrong side of the road at points and so on. But you spot no other guards. Okay,
That's quite
then
interesting. Well, the point is, they may just not want people going into that part of the
Mm.
Nineveh compound, and so they're putting a bunch of scary, visible people.
Okay, I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
you
Yeah,
can
yeah, it's an overt show of force, isn't it?
Yeah.
you can turn off here, and there is a track running down the side of these buildings and then crossing over at this bridge here that Nick pointed out.
Guys, let me out. I'll walk it, and you drive on.
Okay, so
Yeah, let him out.
I'm reasonably good at looking innocuous, so I'll just
are you leaving your
walk
are
down.
you looking like a wandering fighter? Or
Yes, no, I'm looking like a wandering
Minstrel?
wandering worker, refugee itinerant, looking for work.
so
If anyone asks what
no
I'm doing,
webbing or weapon. Okay, yep.
no, just a pistol
Pistol
tucked.
tucked inside, yeah, as before. Okay,
Yes. And my game plan is, if anyone asks me if what I'm doing, I'm going to ask them if they've got any work.
and where are you going to walk?
Down this road here,
Sorry,
from here,
yep.
here, down to the bridge you were pointing out just earlier, and then across.
Okay, right. The view is therefore obscured. There are sorry. So the map's not great.
Yeah.
It's the
Negative information is still information. If I can't see anybody because this is obscuring it, then that tells me that no one's particularly concerned if we go in here. So that's
that this is it does obscure the view of this vehicle and stuff, but there's probably other things to do as well because the site does
Yeah, sure.
undulate.
No, what I'm curious about is, can we see any machine gun bunkers around this area here, this area
No.
here, anywhere covering the farmland here, and so on? No, there's nothing. So yeah, no, it does seem to be very much centered on this corner. So I think that any further investigation needs to be on where that goes,
Okay.
what's happening down there.
And are you being picked up by the vehicles down here?
Yeah, I'll prearrange a meet at the other side of the bridge, and
Okay. And then you've talked about potentially setting up an OP to watch them for a while. When you drove down here, and you've driven down and then back on this road, actually done twice, there are
by all means do it again, but don't do it in convoy again.
there are some of the buildings on the front are clearly abandoned.
Okay. Well, look, shall we aim to set up a observation position around right here somewhere, so our more experienced observers can.
Indeed.
It sounds like you can just waltz into one of these buildings if they're abandoned. Drive around the back, obviously, and the approach from the other side.
Yep. What's your I think Ancient Sandman has the highest military science land, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Yeah, I've got like 50. I think he's like 60 or something, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Higher than me. Yeah. Okay. Right. What you find is this building here
Oh yeah.
has a courtyard you can drive the vehicles into. Yeah. And then the building next door.
Yeah.
Is
which has got an overlook position.
Yeah. I mean, they're all 2 stories.
Okay.
Sorry, 2 stories, but then also with active roof terraces as well. And they it seems actually as you're driving around, a lot of this area is abandoned. Okay, so you can almost sort of set up your
got a laying up point there, and
then
the
a
observation point just forward of it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Escape route out the back down those side roads.
Yep.
Need a couple of claymores. Anyway, we need to be a bit stealthy about moving back and forth if these are unobserved, if these are abandoned buildings. So I think
therefore parking a couple of smart-looking vehicles out the back of them isn't a good idea. We should approach them on foot.
well, yeah, that's my point. Which is you've got a courtyard which you can see the vehicles in, but you can move across to your observation point unseen. But also when you are there, when we need to sort of set it up in such a way that it's not out of the ordinary. They don't see a bit of movement inside the building should people need to come and go, that sort of thing. So I think a bit of military science thought, like of how to set up that OP there.
Yep. Okay.
Military science, tradecraft, either of those will do it, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So I know you've got
Speaks for spooky friends.
I think you've definitely got sufficient skills between you to do it without any dice rolls. Okay. So it is now about I think it's about late. It's sort of late afternoon. It's sort of something like 5 o'clock. Okay, after all the driving round and stuff like that. And I'm going to say Sandman's in the OP, but who's with Sandman in the OP?
I think this is a bit more of your bag, or Farmer, maybe.
Yeah, I'd probably be in the OP with Sandman.
I would probably be actually inside the building, just on the laptop.
Okay.
I'll be sat in the courtyard at the back
with the vehicles.
Yes. I'll prop them up on a jack so that we can still drive away quickly on the four-wheel drive if we need to, but so it looks like we're doing some work on them or something, and then I'll sit there not doing anything, so that I can hopefully put together a plausible story about what we're doing if anyone asks. If I put them up on a jack, then it'll look a bit more
certainly.
It's open and.
Yep. Hawk and Jones, do you want to be with Agent Khar at the vehicle, or in the building that's next to the courtyard the vehicles are in, or do you want to be in the OP with Sandman and Pink?
Probably stick by the vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's two vehicles, and if only one person's out there making this look like we've pulled over to fix stuff, then yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay. Right. Pink and Sandman, what is your is it I'm just trying to remember skill names. Is it stealth? What is your stealth skills?
50.
50.
Both of you can give me stealth checks, please.
Half the time we're ninjas. The other half of the time we plod around like elephants.
Well, time to see which half of the time.
Oh no!
Pink elephants, pink elephants on parade.
I rolled worse than you.
Love that it's only two away from each other.
Neither you rolled
I'm taking that as a win.
Okay. You
failed to notice.
Both of you are professionals. Both of you are disturbed by the amount of noise the pair of you make getting into position.
You shush.
You shut up.
But
you shut up.
I'm
gonna shush. I got a bag of shush with your name on it.
But you are a couple hundred meters from that machine gun position, and when you finally get set up with what optics stuff have you got? I know that Pink has got a thermal sight.
Yes, I have a thermal scope.
Have you got have you got anything more than a pair of binoculars?
Other than that, no, I don't think we do.
No. Okay. So
only the low light sight. The low light. Did I bring the dragon off with me? No reason not to.
Have you got a? To be honest, I don't remember. Did you have a? I'm happy to say you did. So you've got you bring a Dragonov with you, which has got a low light sight on it as well. Okay, that will have some bit of magnification in as well. Okay, so you're almost setting up more a sniper position than a hey.
Always think just in
Question.
case.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, actually, a large portion of the snipers role these days. And
Yeah, it is observation.
and
I am being facetious.
Um,
Right. Okay.
Quick question for you, Andy. Very
Mhm.
quick question. I've obviously got a directional microphone and acoustic software.
Yeah.
It's in the list. It's been in the list forever. What's the sort of range on that? Ballpark.
It's a good
Quick,
question.
Google it. Google it. What's it
5,
called?
10 meters?
I
5,
can
10
tell you
meters?
it's not as far as you'd think.
I
Yeah, I'm
think it's more
thinking
than
like 5,
I
10
think it's
meters.
more than 5 or 10 meters, but it's not a
Yeah.
couple of hundred.
Right. Okay. Cool. That's fine. I'm going to
If you think in, I'm thinking of movies, so shit source, but you see people in one building just pointing a direction mic at the building on the other side of the road.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
sort of
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 meters, something like that. That
Okay.
seems to fit Hollywood wise. Whether that's
Okay,
real
cool.
or not, I don't know. But yeah, but I don't think of far enough to unfortunately for the distance to the machine gun post.
That's fair.
Okay, Sandman Pink. When you get into position, the machine gun post is not. It's occupied as before. They don't appear to have gone on to any further alert. And now you've got some elevation. You can see there are 3 men there. They are just they're really one seems to be on alert and actually paying attention. Sorry, actually that's a point. This
He will
is
die first.
Just because I googled it.
what is it? Sorry, have you put something in there?
Oh,
Yeah.
50
aha.
meters.
50 meters. Okay.
Oh, 150
That
I think
makes sense.
there is definitely a strong presence of ambient noise right
Yeah, there is.
That's why I had the
No,
acoustic
you shush.
software.
Explosions. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the acoustic software. I
Yeah.
planned for this sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
Right. This position is the Chechens. Okay.
Yeah.
And there are 3 of them in there, and it seems like of the 3 of them, one appears to be sort of on alert and keeping watch. No one is manning the machine gun. One of them is on alert. Another one is eating some food, and the third appears to be dozing. So they seem definitely very relaxed.
Andy.
Yeah.
What was the last thing that we were doing with the drones? Because I remember us having a drone following something.
We had a
Right.
drone overwatching the warehouse.
The Russians.
Yeah. But there's something
Did we
else.
retask it?
Yeah, we retasked it, didn't we?
You
we got
retasked
2.
it. You retasked it to follow the minibus that had some of
yeah.
the Russian team,
Yeah.
or the supposed Russian team. You've never actually
we got
ascertained whether they are or not.
yeah,
And they
we
were
got a second drone to have a look at the Jibiri estate. I
not the
believe.
not the what do you mean?
Didn't we have one that was it the Jibiri place, or was it into Nineveh? We had them looking. I'm sure we got a
Right.
second one.
Right. Well, what you wouldn't need a second one in this proximity. There would be actually danger of too many in one area.
Do you mean the Rassat estate?
No, he doesn't. No, he's meaning the house that here
That
where
we've just wrecked.
you wrecked. So that may have been retasking this one, Tom. You may well be right, but it's just a different one. So the minibus parked about here. Yeah. That was the last session where Agent Khar did an on-foot investigation.
That's
And
where it led us to.
Yeah, and you had a drone following that. Now, actually, I don't think what we clarified. Well, actually, I can't remember what we did with what happened with that drone. That was the drone. You've only got one drone active. That was the drone that was observing the other team's compound, and you had it follow
Mhm.
them here. So
Yes.
do you want to? Did you? I can't remember. I think Tom might be right, but did you retask that to observe this house?
I'd say that was logical. That would
That's
be the
probably
logical
likely
thing
what we
to do.
Yeah.
And because throughout all of this, we also have Juliet and Stuart that are relaying us what's happening on that, or do we have a feed of that on our?
You can get a feed if you want it.
Yeah.
Agent Farmer's got all the setup to do that, and frankly, it could be fed to a smartphone if you really needed it. But at the moment, to save you having to spend eyes on watching it the whole time, it's being watched by Stuart and Juliet. Yeah. So you also, if you wanted to, I mean, normal special forces tactics is to have a drone following them, alerting them to anything coming near them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, true that. So
But
do we?
currently, let's say it's
Yeah.
been observing the house that you believe Jabiri is in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So, Sandman and Pink, you observe this machine gun position. What are your search skills, please?
27.
Oh, it still ticks. 52.
Okay. After the end of the session, please remember to you're long due doing some increases, so do it at the end of the session. But please, can both of you make me search checks?
Mm-hmm. Any mods, or is that it?
No.
There
There was a penalty, but you've given yourself an elevated.
Hey.
It's a success.
Oh,
We got
yay.
there and hey.
Oh,
Wow.
1 for 1 now.
Right.
Can't be stealthy, but they can see everything.
Look, I had to make up for my lack of searchability last session.
Right.
Excuse me.
Or sorry, my lack of navigate ability last session.
Oh yeah.
You spot no other guard positions.
Well, they're all abandoned.
To which
Oh, I see what you're saying. Across that whole Nineveh site that we can see from
you
here.
see no others.
Just the ones that. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
And with the successes, you also spot roughly here, not quite in the middle, slightly to the north of the middle of these 3 points, what's probably best described as some sort of excavation hole that's just been looking at it, certainly the angle you're at, it almost looks like a shaft going downwards.
Somebody get Dr. Jones.
We need Dr. Jones' stat.
Call him Dr. Jones.
Where was it? Where was the excavation thing?
About here.
About here.
About there?
Yeah, about there, I'll do, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hopefully they're digging in the wrong place because the staff's the not the right length.
Oh, someone just.
Oh.
Who we lost?
Oh,
Okay.
Chris.
Oh,
I thought
Chris.
Khar.
I dropped.
Yeah.
I was looking at my internet thing, but
No, you didn't drop. Chris did.
no, I heard the noise and I thought,
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I had a bit of a sneeze incident. Mute myself.
A sneeze incident so hard.
Let us know when you
You
put your
lost
camera
me
back
for it.
on, Chris, and because I've got.
sneezed so
Sorry about.
hard
Oh
you
yeah.
lost
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I switched
It's
Discord
impressive.
off because then having done that, then it said USB device not recognised and cut off everything from working. So that's why I disconnected.
That's a pretty powerful sneeze.
It
Yeah.
was, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow. Disconnected you from the internet.
Right. Okay. Yes. Okay. So,
Freezing in here. That's
So-
part of the problem.
are you on your little? Are you? I mean, possibly just using your mobile phones. Are you calling Agent Jones and getting Agent Jones to come and join?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
What's his
Right,
tradecraft
Bruce,
like?
stop singing, calling calling Dr.
Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
Right.
Paging Agent Jones.
Yeah.
Paging Agent Jones.
Right. Okay. So, Agent Jones, are you go and join them? Yeah.
Yes.
Can I have a stealth check, please? I'm not even going to ask whether yours is high enough to be automatic.
No.
We'll make sure he doesn't walk in front of any open like windows like we were arguing earlier. No, you should stand there.
Sorry,
I'm gonna
seriously,
walk
Bruce,
across
what is your stealth? What is Agent Jones's stealth skill?
10%.
Could you give me a right? Actually, no. I'm going to give
gonna
you plus 20 on
absolutely
it.
die
I'm going to give you
laughing.
plus 20 on it because you've
Died
got
in
two
three.
people telling you the route to go.
It won't make any difference.
Mike.
Have faith.
Oh, no, it
Nope.
doesn't.
I mean, you still rolled better than us.
I'd
Right.
like to say
Somehow.
not
Missed by
bad.
about the same amount, however.
Look, this is
Yeah.
what happens when you have two different spec ops branches trying to set an observation post. We just have different ways of doing it. I'm trying to set it up the Air Force way. He's trying to set it up the Army way.
I mean,
can't
what
even
could go
march
wrong?
right.
If we're not stealthy while we're crossing an open area of machine gun points. What could go wrong?
It's the
Nothing.
worst that can happen.
So,
Why would you say it?
there is a the two professional military people are slightly alarmed by the noise made by Agent Jones, but observing down, it maybe gets a slight reaction from the one in the one guard who seems to be paying attention. He does sort of look over roughly in your direction, but there are occasional other vehicles on the road and stuff like that, and he sort of turns over. He doesn't bother to alert his two mates.
Yeah.
Thank God.
He doesn't bother to alert his two companions in the bunker in their machine gun position. And then after a minute or so, just goes back to. I mean, he's still paying attention, and he does glance a bit more in your direction, but not exactly your direction. I mean, roughly your direction. Okay.
Yep.
But then, arguably, that's where his position has been set up to look anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Right. And then this hole is pointed out to Agent Jones. Now, let me just look at your character sheet, Agent Jones, a sec. I should actually. Right. What you can tell looking at it
Mm-hmm.
is it is not ancient. It looks definitely more modern to you. This shaft that's been dug down. It also looks to be the rock seems to be cut far too. There's no sort of degrading of the rock or anything like that from age. Don't worry about the map, the measurements on the map.
know,
I
yeah.
haven't set it up yet.
It's not 6 foot away, so it's
Okay. And it's it also look. Sorry, so it's not. It's definitely not ancient.
What does it look like it's been dug with? a swirling swarm of highly sharp obsidian shards, or
It looks
Yes, the
it-
ultimate
digger.
eldritch
it
boring
looks
equipment.
pretty round from your pretty exactly round from your position. Yeah.
Oh.
so very
Oh.
difficult for a machine to do unless it was like a boring machine.
Yes.
It doesn't have those kind of machined marks to it. Is there a pile of rubble nearby?
Yes, but there are different piles of rubble all over the place. And the other thing you would know, by the way, is there's no way that in the middle of this sort of level of archaeology here, that that archaeologists would dig anything like that. So it's
No, I just wondering if there was like a pile of rubble or whether it had been cast to the four winds. Like if it was like humans, they'd be lazy and just dump the rubble relatively close nearby in a pile.
there's actually more sort of it's almost more sort of a lot of sand around
Yeah.
or finely
Yeah, that makes sense.
finely ground
Yep.
rock.
Oh dear.
Yours. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I
Okay,
think
Just
so
chewed
the
its way through
obsidian
rock until it.
shards
Mhm.
might be digging themselves a hellmouth.
Chewing their way downwards.
is it
They
directly
don't
down?
like the sun, so anything that's
I mean, yeah.
Is it directly down or is it at an angle?
Hard to tell from your
Okay.
We'll
from
go and
your
have a look
angle.
later.
So if it is at an angle, it's probably a steep enough angle that it's still
Mm.
going to be.
I recommend
From here,
you-
it looks like it ominously looks like it's going straight down, but
Okay.
you'd have to get closer.
I suggest that we lower Agent Khar on a rope and see what happens.
Yeah, better to hell, man.
He's not listening.
Mm-mm.
Chris missed that one, but anyway.
Express elevator to hell.
Right. Anything else you want to do?
I don't know. What do you think? Some sort of airburst explosive over the area?
That could be
so
an
trigger
option.
happy.
Nineveh.
Is there anything that I can like tap into, etc., using my laptop with all the stuff, all the bells and whistles?
How big would you say that hole is?
Right. Come back to that.
Like, oh yes.
Agent Pink, come back. Sorry. So Agent
So
Farmer,
that-
what are you meaning? Sorry. What signals from where?
So so basically, we know that the mobile phones are being used quite regularly. I want to know what is in this area to see if I can actually switch on the microphone in that person's phone to hear what they're talking about.
Okay. Right. First thing, you can get a list quite easily of all the other phone numbers attaching to that cell tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the same cell tower that Al Jabiri's phone is attaching to.
Yeah.
You can also, and quite probably, by the way, you lot are all attaching to that cell tower yourselves at the moment, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Probably.
Your you can attempt. What is your computer science skill?
62.
Right. This would be a difficult check at -20, so it would require a dice roll. It's not automatic. You could attempt to hack into a particular phone and turn it on.
Well, we already know that Jabiri's number, so let's try that one.
Okay. So
Yeah.
give me a computer science check.
Yeah. Oh. At -20, yeah?
-20, please. Yeah.
Because you never know. I think 9 will do it.
Yes. So
Wow.
you
We should take a leaf out of your.
using some software that was developed by the Israelis, because they definitely have done this,
Oh yeah.
by Mossad. developed for Mossad rather. You turn on the audio, the microphone rather on
Yeah.
Al-Jabiri's phone.
I want to start recording it as well.
Okay. Initially, you don't hear anything. Okay. I just need to check something. Just please.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fully expecting it to take some time. You know, we're not going to be like the movies and we overhear him discussing his entire plan.
Yeah, yeah.
thing.
You're not gonna go clickety clack on a keyboard and then say I'm in 5 minutes later and then have his entire like search history since he
Exactly.
was 5.
Yeah, exactly. I'm literally just switching his microphone on and starting to listen.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, a few hours go by, and it gets dark. Okay. And during that time, what you on that you've just picked up the sound of someone moving around. Not much going on, to be honest.
Yeah.
What are the rest of you doing?
Well, I did want to know how big around is that hole?
That
Like, what's a rough estimation on like the diameter of that hole?
Probably 4 or 5 meters.
That's big enough to drop a J-dam through.
I don't know what it is, but it's probably explosive.
Yeah.
The J-dam is
There you
a joint directed air munition, I believe is
No.
the
There is a small
something
thing to
along that
consider, of
line.
course,
It's a
that
smart
this,
bomb.
you know, the ruins of Nineveh.
We're going to take
Yeah, I
that one
mean,
the
how
heart
much
of it.
more ruins they could get? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was really good.
Right.
No, I'll just keep observing with my thermal scope as it gets darker.
Okay. Right.
Are we? Is it going into nighttime now?
Yeah, it's going dark. It's gone dark. Yes, or it's going dark. Is that you?
Are they going off on change of personnel?
Right. So, just before I come to that, are you? I mean, you've got a position. There's been almost no civilians around. Do you want to set up and stay the night here? Is that your intention? Are you going to move locations? What do you want to do?
We don't.
Is
I
it
think we're gonna
sensible?
get dark. Seriously, we just don't want to be anywhere near here when it gets dark.
Yeah,
Not
this is
with
like
one bed.
the place where the literal boogeyman is right now that gets real powerful when it's dark. But also,
Do you want
like,
to
what
leave?
else can be gained?
Do you want to
It
leave?
kind of neutralizes the point of setting up the observation
Why
post
don't we,
here in the
can we leave a
first
camera
place. If
set
we
up?
Do you
leave,
want? Do you want to leave me here? All right, leave me because I'm the person that's best qualified to appear to be a refugee just looking for a place to sleep. If you leave me with night vision scope and we scrape out a place that I can hide it quickly, then we can hopefully bluff my way out if anyone decides to investigate the position. I can just try and keep an eye on things with night vision scope, then you can drive back in the morning. Or you might come back and find nobody here, or
Just a pile of bones.
black and scorch on the wall. But I think you're right.
one of us
Or
at
getting
least
up and
should
leaving
probably
now.
stick around. If you are, if someone is sticking around, it should be at least 2 people. We shouldn't.
Okay.
I'm happy
So
to stick around to
the
make
other-
sure we don't lose any connection with the Jabiri's phone.
Well, also because we need at least one person to survive to let everyone else know that they've been jumped and that the other person's probably dead.
I love the optimism here.
Yeah.
So I shall have 2 of us stay here, pretend
tells it as I
be
see it.
So it
refugees.
sounds like Agent Khar and Farmer are staying. Yeah.
Okay.
So is Farmer moving up to the observation point as the OP as well, but you hidden down and looking
Hold on.
at
How
you?
much equipment does Farmer need to continue doing what he's doing?
Basically
Laptop.
just his laptop.
Okay.
Be honest with you, I think I'd stay as well.
There's nothing wrong with us all staying. Hawk
Mhm.
is like worried.
Any
Because
help? I
obviously,
don't. Agent Jones doesn't want to stay.
With the other,
right, me and Agent Jones are gonna go and find somewhere, maybe at the university.
I will
Yeah.
go with the other two eggheads.
Oh shit! Okay, we actually
It's
leaving it.
really
Right.
dangerous to stay here, and there's no. I suppose the question is, what are we hoping to get from staying here and observing this?
I
True,
want
we
to
could
get
go off and do
the
something else.
behavior patterns of the guards. Have you seen any shift changes or people moving yet,
Right.
Andy?
Okay. As it starts to get dark, several things happen. Okay. And you're debating what to do, and several things happen. Firstly, Agent Farmer, across the hacked phone, you start to hear there's a sort of a knock on the door, a knock on a door rather, the sound of someone knocking on the door, and then in Arabic, it's accented Arabic. The person speaking, it is very clear Arabic is not their native tongue. Okay.
Yeah.
But what linguistic skills do you have?
I've got Arabic at 50, Farsi at 50, Kurdish at 40.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check at -20.
Straight intelligence.
God, you're bloody clever.
Minus 20.
So that translates to a 90 skill. You're 18 intelligence.
Okay. Yes,
shit.
minus 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. You're unable to determine. Unfortunately, by the way, you don't get to tick intelligence. It doesn't go up.
Okay.
You're unable to deduce what the native language might be of the speaker.
Yep.
But someone comes in and says in broken Arabic, Colonel, we go to switch over the guards. And then you hear in fluent Arabic, say, yes, it is time. Once the guards have returned, then send out the collection teams.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah,
I will make sure everything
no one's
goes
going
past.
anywhere.
Yep.
Yep. This place is now going to be Fortress Delta Green.
And what you guys observe, you also get pinged, and it's probably because Farmer seems to be the main tech person. It's pinged to all of you, but I think Farmer is the one who's able to pull it up as another window on your computer. There's some there's some footage from the drone showing about a dozen people exiting that house. Okay.
Oh.
And
Okay.
sorry, who's good at marking the house? Just because I keep clicking it, is there? You might want to mark
Yep.
location.
What? Hold on, where?
Yeah,
There.
yeah.
So I'm looking at Google Maps at the moment, not your map. They're here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, someone's done it.
Yeah, it's actually that's the road at the front of it. It's just fractionally. It's the building to the north of that, but you know where it is. Yeah. Okay. And what they do is they work. These dozen armed men work their way across the ford. Two of them then take up this position here, and these two men start walking back to the house. They then go up and work round the vehicle, and then this position. Then they go to that shaft and there must be on the obscured angle to you something like either a ladder or steps or something, because 2 men climb out of the shaft and then 2 more go back down in. Okay. And then they then work around to this position and this position. And there's not an NCO with them.
Oh, sorry, they're replacing the people who are there.
Yeah, but sorry, actually,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, I've described it slightly wrong. What happens is it's a group of about a dozen. Well, sorry, a group of a dozen. 2 swap over here, and these 2 go back. They then get to about here. 3 go off to the vehicle, and the rest go towards this direction. Then 2 swap with those. 2 swap here. 3 here, 3 here. But they sort of break into groups, and these people that have been relieved walk back in dribs and drabs. Yeah, they're not like it. It's not like a changing of the guard where there's someone going round to each position in turn. They just sort of go to their assigned positions, and the people in the assigned positions just return. And these people all make their way back to the house. Okay.
Okay, if I might make an observation. Firstly, I think I might have been right in my guess that this colonel guy is senior in whatever the hell's going on. Secondly, if we want to grab him, changing of the guard seems like a good opportunity. Wait until the majority of them got to about here, so we should have a couple of clear minutes before they get a chance to run back. Well, I'll just have to contend with these 2 here, who can be dealt with whilst they're wandering back. Then our main strike team, if you like, can go into the house. Anyway, just a suggestion, but
just to add to that, there was on the video feed, there is still a guard outside the front door of the house when that changing the guard takes place.
There's 12 less guys, so
yeah. Okay. Now, there's actually while this is all going on, probably just as these first 2 are reaching back to the house, and then it's about another dozen men. So 3 groups of 4 come out and split into 3 groups of 4, and they go wandering off, 1 in this direction, 1 in this direction, and 1 wending through the alleyways here, in 3 groups of 4, wandering off.
3 groups of 4 men.
Yeah. So there's another.
They're the collection team.
So a total.
They're the collection teams.
A total of 24 men came out, and then 12 come back. So there's at least 36, and the guard, and Jabiri doesn't appear to have left.
Did we get all the people that disappeared? Did we get a total number of them?
I did sort of do a rough thing, but it was very much a case of there's certain found dead. There was certain number that were missing, but it wasn't all the information. Some of it was vague, like no numbers. It was sort of like a firefight
so
broke out.
We can't say
for definite.
Without
No,
a doubt.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andy, I've got a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the building, I've seen the house that they're all coming out
Yeah.
of. Thinking about that building, looking at it, learning what I know about local architecture and buildings, how many toilets would that building have? And based on that, how many people could you practically keep comfortably, or at least practically keep living within that property?
It's quite a large building. It's 3 stories high.
Andy, do you want me to just roll architecture? Because I am an architect.
What about the tips?
What is your architecture skill?
Craft architecture at 60.
You don't need to roll.
I'll ask him.
Yeah.
You don't need to
Yeah.
roll.
Sure, this is a valid way to try and estimate the number of people that could be housed in the building.
yeah.
I understand.
The
Be back in
building.
just a sec.
Sure. Oh, sorry. The building is designed to house multiple families. It's a sort of
Right.
Okay, so
what it is. It's actually it must have some inner courtyard, not one that you could drive vehicles into like you've just done, but one that would go through the front door. And actually, there's no gateway. You go through a front door, and there must be some sort of central courtyard. And there's probably 4 apartments per floor, and it's 3 floors.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So it's a lot bigger. So it's a lot bigger than I thought. We described it as a house.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
imagining something a lot
Sorry,
smaller
I
than that.
apologise. I've given you apologies. I've given slightly bum steer there. I apologise for that. Okay, but yeah.
Yes,
So there's
16
So
times
12 apartments, so
3.
you could easily fit quite a lot more people in there. Then
Yeah.
I mean,
We're looking at 30. We're looking at about 54 people if you just have 4 people per apartment. You
Yeah.
probably get 6 people per apartment. So
the apartments would probably be 2 bedrooms each.
Yeah, so you could easily
yeah.
fit
So you're looking
more in there.
at maximum 6 people plus people on the couch. So if you maximum numbers, you would be looking at 6 times 12, 72. That's if they're all usable.
You would reckon actually the way Desh sort of stacks people in when needed, they could be a lot more than 72. They could sleep a lot more than 72 in there. And,
Okay.
and also from your military experience, if they're hot bunking,
Yeah.
I mean, so that they're not all in there at the same time.
Yeah.
Can't make any sensible guesses then.
Right, so there's on this incidents list, there's 11 people that were recorded as missing. Without the new information from incidents coming through. Can anyone else hear feedback?
I think it's on Marc's, unfortunately.
Yes.
I think it's on Marc's.
Okay. Quick question, Andy.
Do you want me? Sorry, you go.
Go on, B.
Sorry. On the 25th of March, citywide patrols after curfew were doubled. No ISIL fighters were allowed to move about after curfew in groups fewer than 4. Now, what is curfew? What time is that? And is that in this area?
Curfew is when it gets dark.
Okay. Cool.
And you have IDs that would allow you after. You're not civilians. You've got IDs
No.
that allow you to move around after curfew.
Oh no. Okay, right. I've read that wrong anyway. Sorry. Yeah. Carry on.
And yeah, so so patrols need to be at least 4 people in size, and
Yeah.
you need to sorry, and they're enforcing a curfew.
These guys are enforcing a curfew. I thought they're called collection teams.
No. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm being.
ISIL as a whole has.
Desh as a whole is enforcing a curfew. Now, just one thing. When you saw these collection teams coming out, are you leaving the drone observing the house, or do you want to do anything different with the drone?
I personally think that it should stay on the house.
Yeah.
See if there's any. Can we see from the drone if there's any other movement inside the house, whilst in this in between moment of the 24 people leaving and the return of the 12?
I'll go and put eyes on the house if you want. I want to see exactly what these collection teams are doing. I have a really bad idea.
Right. Just bear in mind, Chris.
Yes.
It is now after curfew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Civilians are not supposed to be on the streets, and ISIL groups are supposed to be in 4 or greater numbers. So you wandering around on your own. Now you've got ID that you can go away. But you've got to have a role that will gel with that, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, and that probably involve a bodyguard. I still want to know what behaviour these patrols are up to. Wouldn't mind having eyes on the house.
Right.
I think they're on they're snatch groups. The snatch groups.
Mm-hmm.
So,
we may be able to see it from the
what's the penalty for
anyway.
For missing curfew? Being out after curfew?
Probably some kind of beating.
Okay, fine. I can deal with that. Just take my pistol with me and head on out. Try and sneak down there without being seen.
You're going to pose. You're going as a civilian, or you're going to try and bluff that you're someone important.
No, I want to say the bluffing that I'm someone important for when we're on operation. This is not my worst idea. My worst idea yet is find out exactly what these snatch teams are doing, and then arrange for them to snatch me.
Yeah, no, I
No!
guessed that you were going to that one. Right. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I'm a deep cover. It's what I do.
Okay. So, Chris. Right. So, you've got to get back across the river. You've got a bridge here that links up, or a bridge here. Where are you going to cross the river?
Oh God, I didn't see that. Why? Sorry.
There's a
right,
bridge here or bridge
here.
here.
Rivers and uses. We're here. I'm trying to get here.
Now, just to say, by the way, while you're doing this,
Crazy idea.
while you're getting this organised and so on, you hear the sound of gunfire in the distance. That's not unusual here.
Yeah.
It's a bit louder on the audio from the phone that Farmer's listening to. And then, yeah, sorry, where are you?
I'll cross. There, might as well.
Okay. So you're going to work your way. Sorry, can someone also who's doing, can you just mark here is your sort of OP and base? Yeah.
I got it.
Someone
Got
do
it.
that just so we don't lose track. Yep. Okay. So I will produce a much nicer looking map for next session. Believe me.
Thank you.
With that.
Make my way through the back streets down this
Yeah.
sort of way here. Try and stay out of the way of any ISIL patrols.
Mhm.
Come to this bridge here. Wait until there's nobody about, and sneak my way across. If any ISIL patrols coming, simply I'm new in town and I've got nowhere to go. I'm going, but the Americans bombed my house. You know.
Are you so? What equipment? You're carrying a pistol hidden inside your clothes.
Not even sure I should be carrying that, frankly.
Well, are you carrying a pistol? Are you carrying?
No, it won't help much if I'm picked up by ISIL. So I've got a radio thing, some sort of radio thing, so I can signal these guys if I'm in trouble.
So
And that's
now-
about all. And I'll
right,
ditch
now,
that if necessary.
what is that? Are you taking just a mobile phone?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'll use my phone.
Okay.
That way they can keep an
Are
eye
you
on my
going to tell us
position as
what
well.
route you're taking?
Of course.
Well, you can have
Assume tradecraft, Andy. I'd know to do that kind of
certainly.
thing.
You can have a location set up, location tracking on his phone, and I mean actually sort of an app pinging, if you wish, that you can trace on your phones and your phones, or certainly Farmer on his laptop. Okay.
Can Farmer not just plug into his microphone? So it's always on. So we've got another feed from his as well.
Yep.
We can switch
I mean, I'm just watching the house. I'm not doing anything too dramatic. I'm not going to break in or anything. Well, probably
It's
not.
more so
Maybe
that we
not.
can respond to anything if it happens.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you work your way down here. Yeah, that's
I'm not
fine.
stealthy, man.
Okay. While you're working your way down there, on the drone footage, Farmer, you get a ping from Steward to look at it, and you see the snatch squad that went east. Yeah. Sorry, not the snatch squad. So the snatch squad that went south. Sorry, wrong one. The snatch squad that went south. Returning with, it appears, 2 young men, probably from the size and the foot. It's hard. It's an aerial view, so it's hard to see exactly. But they seem to. One of the men seems to be walking a little nervously, and the other one is being dragged. Yep. And they come back. They don't go to the building. They go past, through the alleyways, past the building, cross at the ford, work their way round the path, past these couple of guards here to the hole, and then take their 2 prisoners down in the hole, and then a few minutes later, you see them exit, and they then return to the house. Okay. Right, Agent Khar. You cross over the bridge. Where are you going after you cross over the bridge, please? Are you sticking to the main road? Are you going down alleyways? What are you doing?
No, I'm going down back roads, so behind it all, and then trying to find myself in maybe an abandoned building somewhere between here and here on the opposite side of the road, so that I can then just get into a ground floor window and keep an eye on what happens at this house.
Right. Okay. Because you want to try and observe the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a stealth check, please.
Nope.
Okay. Right. Your sorry. So tell me your route again, please. Apologies.
So I was down past the bridge, probably through these alleyways here, across that road, and then along down the back here.
So you're working through alleyways along the back here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they look fairly straight. You know,
Yeah.
fairly
Certainly. Okay. Roll me a luck check.
Nope. Missed by
Oh
6.
God.
Right. You're moving along the alley, one of the alleyways. You're about, interesting enough, you're roughly where Pink got lost.
That's the cursed place.
You're roughly about here, and you see the twitching at a window. Okay. Someone peering through, sort of peering, covering over a window moves, and someone must have caught sight of you and then has moved trying to avoid you seeing them. But you spotted them, and you're just glancing at that as when a little ahead of you, almost the building opposite where that window was, a door opens and a man carrying an AK comes out, and he's probably 10 meters from you, and he turns to look at you and sees you as you spot him.
Put my hands up and say, "I'm sorry to disturb. I'm so sorry. I just come into the city. I have nowhere to go." The American, like I said, explained that I'm a refugee. I've just arrived. I don't know where to go.
Right. As he comes out, he starts walking towards you, and he starts smiling, and 3 more men follow him out.
Oh
good.
no.
And
So your really bad idea that you didn't want to do is just.
Oh no, I
happened
did want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he starts smiling, and he turns to his companions and sort of whispers something. Give me a is it alertness or observation? What's the skill called? Alertness. Give me what's your alertness skill, please?
49.
Give me an alertness check, please.
What? Actually, I'm going to use that roll a minute ago.
You hear him say to his companions, "Easy victim. We'll be home early tonight."
Thumbs up, guys. It works.
We hear
Yeah,
this.
charge food.
We can hear this. We can hear this, can't
Yes, they can all hear this. But well, it's up.
Well, no, they don't, you don't hear that comment because that was whispered, and he's about 10
Mhm.
meters away. Right,
Yeah.
and the four of them start.
Andy, tradecraft. I have set up because I'm wearing a sort of just concealed throat mic underneath my beard and a tiny little earpiece type thing that looks that looks like a bit of dirt. So as I'm begging, I'm clicking my. I've got a sort of a code for what's going on, but based on just
Okay.
simple number of taps.
Okay,
So I can keep them roughly informed. I'm being rumbled.
okay. What you see is the group of men start to approach you, and they start to spread out in a line. They spread from a group into a line, and the one who came out first says, "You are lost. You need somewhere to sleep the night.
Yes, please, yes.
Come with us," he says, and
Okay.
the
Oh
others.
boy.
And then
Awesome.
he says,
Excellent.
come with me, and he walks on one side of you, and
Yep.
another one walks on the other side of you, and two fall in behind you.
Okay. Well, I will make like I don't have a clue what that means
Yeah.
and make enthusiastic conversation with them as we go.
Oh, good.
And you
Well, okay, tradecraft again. I'll make my enthusiastic conversation to make it abundantly clear to the guys I'm being accompanied back towards Nineveh by 4 guys.
Yeah.
certainly okay, and are you alone? Do you have any friends with you?
No, alas, the Americans. There was a bombing. One of the jet aircraft. They bombed to the south, and my friend he didn't make it out of there.
A great pity.
I have no wife if you're or family.
A great pity. Any son? Because how old's your character? He looks quite
35
35. Any sons?
sons. Yes, but I don't know where he is.
No.
I'm
That's what he.
hoping to find him.
So is that what you say? But he asked.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's a pity. One of the ones
Yeah, it was
behind
a terrible shame, but perhaps.
another the
God,
one who spoke behind
if
says,
God wills it, we will find him.
yeah, the one behind says, "Is one enough?" And
Oh, I got something culturally wrong there then.
no.
Oh no. Yeah, I have one son, and if I'll add 2 daughters as well.
Yeah. No. He's no.
Oh, I see.
I
He's
get
asking
what
his
you're
mates.
You may interpret that and answer that you've got 2 daughters.
I will
as
do
well.
that. Yes.
Yeah, but and he looks at you slightly strangely, and then realizes what you thought he meant. He meant
Yeah.
something very different. And one of his companions says, "I think so. We'll have to go out again if it's not." And they lead you, and they clear to know these alleys quite well, and they cut through a sort of side alley here, up to here, and then across at here, and then way down round to the shaft cave entrance. Okay, and that's probably a good point to
Let's
leave
leave
it for
Yeah.
the session.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What a lovely.
Cliffhanger.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
okay, that's a nice cliffhanger. That did not go how I was expecting that to go. Anyway, right, okay,
Well, I'm quite pleased that happened. Actually,
Okay.
I think that was exactly the sort of thing
Yeah.
that my character would be doing. His heart.
Oh, jeez.
okay. Right, we'll come to them. So actually, just to finish, so they start leading. Is your character, once they start going sort of across the river and away from buildings, are you saying anything, or is it you just sort of
Not until we're getting right out towards the ruins and stuff like that, I'll pass remarks as I deem
Okay.
appropriate.
So what we'll do is we'll start next time with you going through the ruins.
Okay.
You Agent Khar has figured out where they're taking you.
Oh
But,
yeah.
yeah, but we'll talk about that. We'll go through that conversation when we start next time. But okay. Thanks for anyone watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I think that was quite a fun session for us. I hope
Yeah,
it was to
enjoyed
watch as well. But there'll be another one in a couple of weeks' time, hopefully. Thanks, everyone. Thanks. Bye for now, though.